A lot of the things that are listed in this lawsuit, in this statement of facts, we knew about, but I don't think they were characterized as they are now. This kind of opens your eyes to what exactly has been going on around here on this internet, in these YouTube streets, as they like to call it, right? So, without wasting any more time, let's get to it. Now, this says that the plaintiff, who is Byron Blake, owned, managed, and operated a commercial digital content business on the YouTube platform via his channel named Byron Blake, which he managed primarily from his home residence in St. Charles County, Missouri. Plaintiff also maintains a presence on the Instagram platform under the verified handle @official Byron Blake. Plaintiff's YouTube channel and news reporting primarily focused on analyzing and publishing public records, court paperwork, and digital media surrounding hip-hop culture, including verified public records demonstrating defendant Cash Jones's interactions with law enforcement. Prior to June 21st, 2026, public evidence became available demonstrating that Cash Jones was actively providing and orchestrating the provision of information to law enforcement agencies. Following the emergence of this verifiable evidence.
And it's crazy because Byron Blake he lost his page because WACK100 said that he was, defaming him and saying things that weren't true by way of saying that he was an informant in the Big U case. So what Byron Blake does is counter this by showing Big U's documents to a court and showing the situation to the judge to show that WACK in fact was, guilty of the things that Byron Blake has accused him of, therefore making WACK100 subsequently responsible for, under false pretenses, getting Byron Blake's YouTube channel accosted and taken. So it's crazy how that worked out.
Plaintiff publicly referred to defendant as an informant, which means Blake publicly referred to Cash Jones as an informant. Cash Jones, aka WACK100, based entirely on the underlying factual records. On June 21st, 2026, in direct retaliation, defendant Cash Jones published a widely distributed post on his verified Instagram account, tagging the plaintiff's exact business handle and stating textually, "Official Byron Blake X. We have 3 more on the list. Young Aunt Hefe honored my request, so he's safe as of now. Sincerely, the exposers. Took me 6 months to put this team together. We couldn't match your lies, so we're playing it dirty. Best 10,000 I've ever spent." Through this widely...
No, that's a crazy admission of guilt.
Distributed publication, defendant falsely accused plaintiff of being a liar regarding the factual law enforcement records, knowingly published an absolute falsehood to damage plaintiff's professional integrity. On that exact same day, June 21st, 2026, plaintiff's commercial YouTube channel, Byron Blake, was suddenly and completely terminated by the platform. Through his explicit written admission, defendant confirmed that he hired and paid a $10,000 bounty to an illicit cyber coordination squad, coined the Exposers, to play it dirty,
And that is something that WACK did. He said that he got the Exposers to take down Byron Blake, and now all these things can be used against you in a federal court. Well, in this case, state court.
Bad faith takedowns and successfully orchestrate the targeted deletion and removal of plaintiff's channel. On July 12, 2026, defendant Cash Jones appeared as a featured guest on the broadcast The Adam 22 and WACK100 show on the No Jumper YouTube network. During this public broadcast, defendant openly boasted about and detailed his malicious business strategy of weaponizing false reporting mechanisms to financially destroy his targets online, explicitly stating, "YouTube land, this ain't the streets. Over here, we meta banging. This is the metaverse. So if you want to sit behind a camera and run fake narratives and play keyboard warrior, then I can launch meta nukes. I can meta snatch your shit in a meta major way. Defendant further confirmed on
And now you finna get meta sued.
The broadcast that his express intent in deploying these bad faith campaigns is to inflict severe economic ruin, stating openly, hurting his pockets hurt different. Some of these people ain't no off limits because when you go to talking crazy, it's on. So what? I boom, blew your shit up. Defendant Cash Jones has a documented, publicly admitted history of using digital platforms to aggressively combat, suppress, and manipulate public narratives whenever individuals publish paperwork linking him to federal agencies or law enforcement. In a public interview broadcasted on the Vlad TV media network, defendant explicitly discussed how he handles allegations of law enforcement cooperation and federal wiretaps, stating openly that his practice when dealing with exposers is to look at how they play the game and play the game back. Defendant further admitted in the same Vlad TV broadcast that when federal law enforcement agents or investigators contact him, his strict pattern of conduct is to immediately record and leak the scenarios onto the internet within 24 hours, specifically to dictate public narratives, preemptively screaming that allegations against him are lies or fake to manipulate his audience. On or about...
This is literally what WACK100 does. This is very clear, very, very clear.
November 9th, 2022, defendant Cash Jones publicly released a recorded telephone conversation between himself and an agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which was subsequently published widely across cyberspace networks. During this recorded phone call, the investigating FBI agent explicitly questioned defendant regarding his public multi-platform disputes, text streams, and online disagreements with industry figures, stating to defendant, "We were provided information that possibly something went beyond that, and so we're just calling you to clarify and make sure that you haven't been threatened regarding the disputes that you've had over social media, over YouTube, over Instagram, and all of that." In response to the federal investigator on that call, defendant openly discussed his public disputes, personal knowledge of ongoing music industry legal affairs.
Definitely openly talked about his issues with Jay Prince. That for sure happened. I don't know why Wack did that, but he did.
Confirming his baseline pattern of behavior of directly communicating with federal agencies regarding online conflicts. Defendant's own published audio archives explicitly prove that he has a long-standing active communications channel with law enforcement regarding social media disputes, demonstrating that his public leaks are strategically utilized to control narratives. On or about March 17, 2025, an official federal criminal complaint was filed in United States District Court for the Central District of California under case number 225 MJ 01494. Duty, titled United States of America versus Eugene Henley, also known as Big U. Page 52 of the official federal court documents explicitly names and transcribes defendant Cash Jones participating in a public media broadcast where he breaks down and explains the extortion, manipulation, and robbery tactics used by Henley against various victims, specifically stating, "You know why he..."
Yeah, and he said, you know why he whoopty bams, because he's gonna get the money back. That's definitely detailing the intentions and the acts of an extortion. That's for sure. That's true.
He wanted to give dude back the 40, right? Because he was going to make the dude give him 20 for getting it back. A true and correct copy of this specific page 52 is attached here too as Exhibit A. The federal government explicitly relied upon, cited, and incorporated defendant Cash Jones's detailed analytical statements within the body of their official criminal complaint to corroborate their active RICO and extortion investigation into the targeted criminal enterprise. Plaintiff's public reporting and commentary accurately summarized these exact court records, stating that defendant Cass Jones acted as an informant by utilizing an unconventional open source reporting method, specifically going on to highly publicized podcasts to intentionally broadcast investigative facts, criminal methods, and insider information with the knowledge and expectation that law enforcement agencies monitor and ingest those broadcasts for prosecution. This open source investigative funnel is further corroborated by recorded telephone conversations orchestrated and subsequently leaked by defendant Cass Jones involving an individual named Williams, quote unquote, and a cooperating federal witness designated as Victim 1, quote unquote. Specifically, on a public broadcast network, defendant published and participated in a recorded multi-party telephone conversation involving himself, the individual known as Williams, and the cooperating federal witness designated as Victim 1. During this multi-party phone transmission, defendant Cass Jones actively directed the flow of conversation, manipulating the dialogue to extract specific incriminating details regarding Eugene Big U Henley's criminal operations. On a subsequent public broadcast, defendant Cass Jones explicitly and subjectively admitted on tape that he was a direct participant in the aforementioned telephone conversation with Williams and Victim 1. Defendant Cass Jones has publicly admitted that Victim 1 explicitly confided in him that he was actively cooperating with law enforcement to secure an indictment against Henley. Despite having subjective knowledge that Victim 1 was actively cooperating with the government, defendant Cass Jones intentionally orchestrated the telephone call to extract statements framing Henley as the sole individual responsible for the underlying criminal act. So you set up this call knowing that this dude was doing this. Defendant Cass Jones then...
And these are all the incidents that led to WACK taking down Byron Blake's YouTube channel. But as far as that's concerned, Byron Blake is saying, hey, you know, everything I'm saying is true. I'm not lying on anyone, nor am I giving any false information. So for you to be attacking my YouTube channel because of this would make you wrong. And Byron Blake is maintaining that because he is able to prove all these things that he's saying about WACK100, he is in fact in the right for suing WACK for what's looking like $1 million lawsuit and some change.
Published this orchestrated recording to the internet, tracking his established pattern of using open source channels to deliver actionable investigative material to federal agencies while publicly masking his cooperation as social media content. Because the official federal court record in case number 225MJ04011494 duty explicitly confirms that the federal government used defendants' public statements to build their criminal case, plaintiffs labeling defendant as an informant or cooperator were entirely true and legally protected. Defendant Cass Jones possessed full knowledge of his own recorded audio admissions and federal court citations. He maliciously published the June 21st, 2026 statement branding plaintiff a liar solely as a defamatory device to shield his street persona, activate his paid squad, the exposers, and tortiously destroy plaintiff's commercial YouTube asset. Defendant's public admissions on Vlad TV and No Jumper directly establish his subjective motive and intent to target the plaintiff because plaintiff possessed and discussed verifiable evidence demonstrating defendant's cooperation with law enforcement. Defendant deployed his paid squad, fabricating the narrative that plaintiff was a liar and permanently sabotaged plaintiff's business to stop the dissemination of his records. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's statement branding plaintiff a liar, third-party platform users, subscribers, and digital network moderators actually altered their perception of plaintiff's integrity and honesty, believing plaintiff to be a systematic fabricator of news. The widespread dissemination of defendants' malicious falsehood directly triggered a wave of massive bad faith reporting by platform users, acting as a direct mechanism that caused the instant permanent termination of plaintiff's commercial YouTube asset Byron Blake. Following the publication of defendants' defamatory statements and the subsequent destruction of his channel, valid business affiliates, content networks, and
yeah, Byron Blake is going ahead and make sure he blasts WACK100 for this. Make sure y'all check it out on Byron Blake's channel. I'm going to let y'all catch the rest. It's on his page. Go ahead and check him out at JBP Reactions. I guess he's going after the Joe Budden podcast reactions angle of the things. But that all being said, man, shout out to Byron Blake. Hit him with a like, with a comment, with a subscribe. Red dots to the left. You know the rest. We are gone. Say a prayer and be blessed.